Two movies. Two true stories. Two true stories. Because finally, they are making movies about true stories. That's right. Luckily for the audience, it says on the screen before the movie starts, based on things that actually happened. I guess that way people just don't throw away their popcorn in the middle of the film, infuriated that what they're watching might not be 100% true. It's just after the Christmas season, which means we've got our Oscar true stories with our fantasy musical films. Let's watch some Oscar bait! Big Eyes is the new film from Tim Burton, and I was excited about this one because I love the way that Tim Burton used to be. It just seems like Tim Burton has gotten a little too big and just stop adapting all the things. Now this may not be his original story, but it's clearly a smaller, more personal movie. He's actually using actors other than Johnny Depp. Amy Adams plays Margaret Keane, who was this artist in the 1950s who painted pictures of children with big eyes. And her husband, played by Christoph Waltz, who takes credit for all of her success because, well, he's so much better at sales, and he's also a walking human bag of crap. And this movie is mostly Amy Adams painting and Christoph Waltz being a slippery piece of crap. Both Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz are really good here, although the problem for me is I'm still disappointed in Tim Burton. It's not a bad film, it's just mostly a forgettable one. I mean, Burton, who is this guy who usually brings his own signature style to movies, just kind of feels like he's on cruise mode here. It's an interesting story, but it does very little to stand out, and the plot is just pretty straightforward. I've also got to say, while I love Christoph Waltz as an actor, his character sort of dips into comical farce by the end of the movie. It is nice to see Tim Burton try something smaller, but I just wish he'd tried more. So I give the movie a C+. The Imitation Game, starring Benedict Cucumber Sandwiches. The Imitation Game tells the story of Alan Turing, who, no big deal or whatever, just invented the computer and stopped World War II. Pretty much. It's pretty amazing that this story isn't more well known, but luckily this movie does this story justice. Alan Turing is a socially awkward genius who kind of reminds me of Russell Crowe in The Beautiful Mind, and he lands a job with MI6 trying to break the secret Nazi code. Turing then gets the idea that he has to build a machine that can think like a human can. We kind of go back and forth between Turing's time in the war and when he's much younger, a child in school, to when he's in the last few months of his life. Now this movie has all the trappings of Oscar bait. It's an emotional drama, it's a true story, it's set during World War II, but it all works. Benedict Cumberbatch is brilliant as Turing, and though he's a bit of a jerk, you still feel for the guy and all he had to struggle through. Being misunderstood both as a genius and the fact that he was gay in a time when it was illegal to be so. Keira Knightley is also good in a key role where she plays, like, Alan's pretty much best friend. I also thought the kid who played the young Alan Turing, although it is a much smaller section of the film, was absolutely brilliant. It's very well written, it's emotionally complex and gripping, and if you don't cry at the end of this movie, then, well, you're not like me, who I guess cries at everything. It's one of the must-see films out right now, and I give it an A.